What we do here is go back, 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 back.
Winning.
For real, for
And
real.
did a bit of that.
Yeah, I need to go barbers. It's been a minute. Yeah,
It's trim
just gonna get
season.
just a little lineup. You know what I mean?
Trim season.
But yeah, man, welcome back to another game of away games.
Another game of away games.
It gets like that.
It gets like that.
A bit flustered.
It's a mad one.
It is a mad one. So a lot's been on my mind. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I'm sure it's been on the whole footballing world's mind. With ESL. The thing is, the fact that we've actually dubbed it already, like we're not even saying European Super League. We're saying ESL like it's a thing. So, bro, maybe that's what they wanted. Just in the psyche.
It's in your mind now. It's in your mind.
Crazy.
They've got it in our minds now. We now know it's going to happen.
That's the thing.
It's possibly gonna happen.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting? Like Sean and I have slightly opposing opinions as well, which I think makes it a bit interesting.
Pro ESL.
Who do you think?
Who do you think?
Give you 5 steps.
Actually, we're gonna post this on Instagram to get a little poll in.
Yeah, for real.
Get Instagram poll in.
But yeah, no. How do you want to start off though?
Let's explain what's happening.
Okay.
Let's explain why the Premier League. What is ESL?
Yeah, so European Super League. That's a breakaway league which is going to replicate an American sporting model. What they have with MLS, NFL, NBA. Their leagues are pretty much franchised, and there's no promotion, there's no relegation.
Yeah.
It's sort of fixed. Whereas in Europe, like we don't, in football in general, we don't have that across the whole world. Other than MLS, really. In football, it's always been about, you know, like from the grassroots upwards. You know, like there's no football without the grassroots. It's about like stories like Vardy playing non-league and like making it to the top level. You know, it's all about the academies. It's about women's football, all in one, all in tandem. So European Super League is sort of what I think, because I guess this is why we have opposing opinions. I feel like
I never knew it was been around since the 90s. The idea of it has been around since the 90s.
Yeah, that's
like
why Arsene Wenger was talking about, like, it's not like they were prophesizing it. Like it's been a thing. It's
that
just
they've actually been thinking about for some time now. I never knew. That's something I never knew.
Yeah, I can imagine there obviously is a lot of money in it, but I just don't see the attraction of like playing the same team over and over again. So obviously, when you see like Champions League lineups of Bayern Munich versus PSG, that match was the best match. Like that was phenomenal. I love that match, right? But one of the things that's attractive about that is the fact that you don't have that all the time. So if I saw that like 3 times, 4 times in the space of like 6 months, I'm like, this is dry. Like not dry, but you know, I like the fact that there's different ways.
And I agree with that. I think that is probably one of the biggest issues for the first season. I think the aim of, and the thing is with what I think the issues at the moment, people are uproaring when there's not a lot of information about this yet.
Yeah.
There's still a lot to be thought about and a lot to have been gone through. I think what's happened now is that the big clubs, the big 6, the Barcelonas, the Real Madrids, have finally just made a decision that, right, we're going to go do it. I think that's what's happened, is that they've just said, we're going to go do it.
Do you know what's mad though? Today was supposed to be the day that UEFA announced like the format of the Champions League. So they did it on purpose.
They did it on purpose, So I think it definitely is a thing of them just being like, just kind of being like, okay, we're going to do it. But I think for me, the reason why, so just so you know, I'm the one that's for it. Okay, I wouldn't say I'm for it, but I'm open to it.
Yeah.
I'm very open to it.
Which is fair enough. Yeah.
But it's because I think that if they spend some time and actually think about it and actually work on how they're going to do this, this breakaway league. Sorry, I actually have a very important point I have to start with.
Go on.
Ban UEFA, ban FIFA, and ban the FA. That's one of the biggest reasons why I'm actually so against it.
Fair enough.
Because the biggest point I'm going to put out is that every single moment of racism that has happened in football,
they're like zilch. They did nothing.
As soon as there's a threat on their leagues.
That's very true.
They have now with it. The European Super League wasn't even announced which teams were doing what, and already they'd condemned it.
Yeah.
And they've been condemning it for time. Why? Because they're losing money. If the big clubs leave, because this is what I was saying is that one of the things is if the big clubs leave and Leicester, Everton, and all these guys are gonna get to a point where they're like, hang on, how did we join that?
Yeah.
Then they're gonna go over. Then next thing you know, everybody's going over. Then there's no more Premier League. There's no more FIFA, and there's no more UEFA.
So your perspective is interesting because you're coming from it as like, oh, what if, right?
Yeah.
So we're approaching it from different angles. I'm approaching it of like, if you let the wolves in, then you're gonna get eaten. I'm thinking of it as Joe Glazer is one of the people who signed it off, off it. He was like, the Glazer family came in like and bought Man United without their own money, like using their assets and like put their debts onto Man United, and that was via JP Morgan.
Yeah.
And JP Morgan are the ones that are going to be financing this as well.
Yeah.
So it's all like premeditated, right? And like Man United fans have been telling people how badly run like the club has been. You know, obviously we spent big money, but it's not that simple. That's not how it works. Like you can spend a lot of money that the club has earned, but still be like losing more. So you're not actually spending much of your own. They haven't put anything into the club. So with those people in charge and trying to break away when they've never had the best interests of the club, like the best interests of that league or the whole football pyramid is gone. Like they're not. People are saying like, okay, there could be parachute payments, just like in the Premier League trickles down to the lower leagues and whatnot. Bro, they're breaking away. They're breaking away. They're not on this. Like that's my perspective. Like they're not on this. Like and if they break away and there's no like money trickle down through the country, then you're not gonna get like academy products. You're not gonna get like even like women's football as well. Like that's my question. I'm just like, what happens to those things? The academy.
That's the first point. I've seen a lot of people talk about this. Is the women's football part in the European Super League thing breakdown of what they plan to do. One of the biggest things they've mentioned is this 3 billion part of it is going to women's football, and a large chunk of it, more than UEFA, FIFA, or the FA have ever put into the women's football, to therefore boost their image rights, get better training facilities for them, get them actual stadiums, not the little training pitches around the corner where they were training at. Actual stadium for them to play at. The aim is to fund the women's football. So therefore, if you look at a lot of the teams that are joining it, they also have women's teams.
Yeah.
And so the women's teams are going over as well to form their own women's version of the Super League, which is going to be funded by the men's teams.
Do Liverpool have a women's?
They do, but it's crap. They're currently in the League One of the women's.
Oh, okay. Oh, second division basically.
So they're not doing that great, and that issue, that part of it as well.
Real Madrid as well.
Yeah, Real Madrid will be Real Madrid got the.
Do they?
What, the women's team?
Do they have a women's team?
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah, I think they're called the Galacticas.
Galacticas.
Yeah.
That's sweet. That's cute. So I thought, because I know obviously Barcelona do, Bayern do.
Femenino.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like one of the clubs don't for some reason. Maybe it was Real Madrid. They probably just started like recently.
Yeah. I don't know if they started recently.
Beginning in 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was literally like 2 years ago.
Oh no, 1st of July 2020.
That was last year.
Last year.
Yeah. Okay, so it was just for that. No, they knew they had to, innit? But okay, no, that's a good point actually. Because you know your first point about like ban UEFA and FIFA, like but I feel like your perspective was UEFA and FIFA haven't been good. So this is an alternative, so you're for it, right?
Yeah.
My thing is not that I'm for UEFA or FIFA, not by any means, but the way that these came about it, I don't think it's the answer.
Exactly.
That's what
everybody has the issue with how these guys have come about it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, even like right there, I've just shown you figures. UEFA alone make 3 billion a year. But yet the winner of the Champions League only receives 100 million.
Yeah, no, it's poor.
Where's the money going?
No.
It should be
what is good is that it's highlighted like the wrongdoings with UEFA and that.
Yeah.
But I don't think that just because you're the only other solution that it's like, the thing is, the way they did it, they didn't give anyone preparation time. They didn't give like, you know, people a brief or anything like that. It was just like boom, like the managers didn't even know, the players didn't even know, like then all out of the loop, like, and you're expecting people to just be calm with it.
Of course, because that comes with familiarity. Lord, that word was difficult.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna say it when I'm not on camera. Anyways, with familiarity.
How many syllables are you adding to it? Familiarity. You made you added like 4 syllables to 6. Anyway,
we're gonna leave that word, but everybody knows the word that
that's getting left in.
But yeah, with that, it's because everybody's so used to the way football is currently.
Yeah.
Everybody's used to, but then people also forget that the Champions League was also a remake.
No, people know that. Well, from what I've heard, like people know this stuff. The Premier League as well.
The
Like
Premier League,
these were like revolutionary and whatnot. But the ethos was the same, bro. The premise is the same.
Yeah.
Like it's still like promotion and relegation. And the thing about the Champions League is that it used to just be like the winner of each league, basically. Yeah. And then it expanded, kind of thing. So one thing that this has brought about is like the fact that we're questioning, like even today, the Liverpool match, like they drew, and they were talking about, like, the commentator was like, Liverpool are struggling for their fight for the top 4 in order to get to the Champions League. They were a bit unsure, right? Yeah. Whether it means that they're going to be in the Champions League or not. And like, why? 4 is such an arbitrary number. Like, it's random, bro. Yeah. So I'm here for the fact that, okay, that's questioned. But it's just, I don't feel like it's the solution. Like, I'm not on this Americanization of it. Like, how the full sport is fine.
I really think that if they are to do it, because Real Madrid is also one of the leading ones. I don't know much about Perez, unfortunately. But I do know a lot about Kroenke. I do know about the Glazers. I do know about Abramovich. Them men are about their money. Which is the unfortunate thing about the situation, because everybody's looking at these guys and thinking these guys are just about their money. But so are UEFA. So are all these people. How many scandals have they been in UEFA?
Yeah, but it's not my perspective is not defending UEFA. Yeah. That's the thing.
Exactly.
Like,
no, I get that. I get that. But the thing is, why I believe is that if these guys, the Kroenkes, Glazers, all of them, are able to actually make a smart decision about this and allow footballing brains, to take over, and manage how this is going to run. Different situation.
Fair enough.
Different situation.
But it's like, how likely is that to happen?
The thing is if they do that. That's the biggest question. If they do that.
Why would they do that?
Because they would, if they were to do something like that, to me that lets me know that this is still about the fans. There's still an element of it by the fans.
But why would?
But then as well, it also makes sense why it's the richest clubs that are going to do this. They have the finances to be able to sustain this and actually afford to put money in to do this.
They don't, bro. In terms of attracting money, yeah. But the reason why they're doing it is because they're broke. Have you seen their debts?
Yeah. I know that.
Look, all of the teams, bro. They've got the most debts out of, bro. Like, Man City have the least out of everyone, isn't it? Like, it's terrible. I saw like a poll on Twitter, like it was Rowan forwarded it. I was just like, you see, like they clocked that from the pandemic and not having fans coming in, like any way to make money over the next, like for the foreseeable future, they were up and out, bro. They saw that 3.5 million from JP Morgan and was like, no, we know how this is going to come across, like, to the whole footballing world, but we're doing it. Like, it's peak for us right now. Like, you know them ones where their weight in too deep, they're in, like, way over their feet, and they didn't know that was the only way that they could deal with it. So, for me, it's not about, like, they don't care about the fans. They don't care about, like, anything in terms of, like, the footballing pyramid. They only care about themselves. And that's when, like, people defending it, like, I don't know if they're looking at it from that angle. Like, if you look at that angle purely, then you know it's just not in safe hands, bro. Like,
I don't know. Like I said, because obviously where I've read some of the bits, it seems like the plan is for it to go down that stage. It seems like it's just to cut out the middleman. It's to cut out the people in between. And just literally just leave it to the clubs.
Do you know that idea? Like, I can't be mad at it.
And the thing is there potential for that? Is there potential for, like I said, for the Leicesters, the Valencias, and all these people to look at it in a year or two's time and be like, actually, we're coming over. Let's create
that
a league.
optimism is good though. Like, but I don't see the good in these lot though.
Exactly,
Because their history hasn't justified
we
that.
don't see the good in these 6.
Yeah.
In the starting group, because the starting group are about money. We all know they're about money. Nobody can deny they're about money. But if we take but if it was a case that, for example, let's say Valencia were in there, or Porto were in there, or even Leicester, let's say we're in there,
Yeah.
would we be saying the same thing? We kind of wouldn't be, because we're like, but why is Leicester there? Even like today, the whole idea that everybody's talking about this whole thing of if you want to be in the Champions League, you have to earn it. I understand that completely.
Yeah.
But what if, like, again, it's like, if they're able to restructure this properly,
Yeah.
and get a whole new league, a whole new, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a lot of ifs, and this is the place where I'm coming from. Is a place of like, I just want to hear the full story before I make a decision on what
I get you,
way
and
I'm
that's really rational, bro.
Yeah,
that is really rational.
I really want to actually understand.
You're a rational dude.
Because
most brothers ain't rational, bro.
Exactly.
And but do you know what? They're probably thinking like in their mansions like, yeah, fans are gonna be angry, but they'll get over it. They'll get over it, kind of thing. And but you know, it's the fundamentals of not being relegated, and like I just can't. That irks me, bro. That irks me, bro.
I think there should be a system that allows for teams to go up, teams to go down. You don't perform. I don't get how you cannot perform and still be kept in the same league, which obviously happens in the NBA, happens in the NFL. Like, I didn't know about the NBA because I watched the NBA, and it does get boring seeing the same games over and over again. Like, I wouldn't want to see Arsenal face a Bayern Munich 7 times in a year.
Yeah,
because that's corn.
That's
7 times a year. Guaranteed.
At least you know, though. At least you know, fam.
I'm not ready for that.
And some of the clubs that were in it as well. Like, how can you like this, bro?
Yeah,
that's the thing. I guess you're not. I think the things that people are upset about aren't what you are appreciating in it. You're seeing a potential. You're not seeing it for what it is now.
No.
Like
what it's good. What it's starting out as.
Yeah, what it's starting out as.
When it starts out, I've already seen it's going to be garbage. It's not going to be that great.
Like Tottenham are there. That's mad, bro.
Yeah, and obviously the Premier League is going to be dead. Because this is another issue as well. Is for me, right? I'm thinking about 6 clubs are leaving. They've taken themselves out.
Yeah.
Let's swap it. Let's say Leicester, Leeds, West Ham, Everton, Wolves, and let me think of another team quickly. Sheffield decided they're going to take themselves out of there and go create the Super League. Would there be the same outrage?
That's a good point. That is a good point.
It's only because of these teams, because of their ownership. It's the ownership that's the biggest issue.
It's not just the ownership, but it's obviously it's the ownership.
And as well, it's the revenue these clubs.
They're the biggest. Yeah,
they're the biggest clubs.
It's so elitist, isn't it?
Yeah. People are outraged because they're worried about the fact that, oh my gosh, are we going to make money without Arsenal, without Tottenham, without Man United, without Man City? Who's coming to watch Leicester?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's disrespectful for teams like Leicester.
No, but it's not just that though. Like, because it's just the fact, innit? Like, they've got the biggest fan bases around the world.
Of course.
So the Premier League and English football, like, because we're just based on under 6, are dependent on these, like, innit? Yeah. And it's only like kind of recent history as well, because as we established, like Tottenham haven't won a league yet.
Yeah.
You know, like Leicester, they've even won a league. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And like obviously Arsenal aren't in the best situation. Man United haven't won a league for time either. So but it's just the fan bases around the world that's bringing in a lot of revenue, and that's responsibility, man.
Yeah.
Like that you didn't get to that position without the footballing structure in this country. So now that because you've got the most like marketability and commercial success, you're gonna like leave what made you. Like no one can, like, as a human, imagine like you blew and then I'm your boy and then you're just like, it's literally like that.
Let me give you another perspective.
Go on.
That same situation, as your boy, you've blown, but I'm taking advantage of you. I'm your manager. You know you're getting paid 10 mil and I'm taking 8 mil. When you're the one that's bringing in revenue, not me. You are the one that's bringing in revenue. I'm taking in most of your bread. You're gonna want to cut me out so that you can make all your bread.
Yeah, but you're talking about the Prem though. You're saying the boy is the Prem, but the Prem ain't loyal like that. Like the Prem, like, it's the other teams that I care about. I don't care about these other organisations like UEFA and FIFA.
Yeah, of course. I get it. Yeah.
It's just
but when it comes to like everybody else underneath it, the Leicesters and things like that, my hope is that when the big 6 are doing this, they've thought about, we're gonna bring you guys in later.
You're so optimistic, bro. You see the good in people.
That's
like
what I'm
you and Aaron, you love seeing the good in people. I rate it though. I used to be like that.
No, I honestly just.
Then I got burned.
That's the one thing I hope is that they'll get to the point where they start to realize that the competition still needs to be there.
Mm.
Is that the aim is just to cut out the middleman. There's a certain element of this that looks like they're just trying to.
Sounds
cut
like
out
your idea, though.
Yeah.
That's not. This is my point.
No, but
it's like you wanted to do
even
this.
if you look at certain things that they're saying, like yesterday, Perez apparently said, because I don't know, because they like to say that they're saying these things, but they're not saying.
I know a lot of things ain't true.
But even like they're saying that Perez said that if you take these players, if you do this, you can't play in the World Cup. And I said we'll create our own World Cup. Because it's about trying to cut them out.
Oh, he said that he would create his own.
Yeah.
But it's so weird because, like, do these things count historically, though? Like,
of course, they'll have no history.
No, like, I'm just thinking because the whole point of this was to, like, create a separate Champions League.
Yeah.
Or, like, break away from that. It wasn't to leave the leagues that they were in, right?
Yeah.
But you know how the Champions League was like a renewal of the European Cup, yeah? So, but they carried on the history. So, Bayern Munich won like 3 in the 70s or something like that. And then, although the competition name changed, it still counted towards it, right? But this new European Super League, it won't be a continuation.
Because of the fact that it's literally it's breaking away.
It's breaking away.
It's starting afresh.
That's what I mean.
When it's starting afresh, it's literally being like, okay, because we're starting afresh. The only time that I'll actually say the European Super League is if they actually come out and say, no, there's not going to be any promotion, there's no relegation, the teams that are in it are the teams that are in it, full stop, end of story. The moment they say that, I'm done. It's stupid. It's a dumb idea.
But that is what they're saying.
No, they haven't said that. There's a lot of parts in it that they're still saying things like we still need to consider a lot of things. There's a part that they've said, I remember I sent it to you yesterday, where they're saying that next season there's going to be 5 new teams added to it.
Yeah.
There's the Women's Super League that they've talked about as well. They're talking about the youth teams of these clubs, the big 6 clubs and the Barcelona's own things, the youth clubs and Massey and all of that will carry on. But they're not going to be in La Liga anymore. They're going to be in the Super League. They're not going to be in this. And the thing is, the Super League seems like it's going to be the Champions League. Then what's going to happen is as long as these teams come over, you're going to see its own version of the Premier League, its own version of Serie A, La Liga and all of that. And there's still going to be this European Super League.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be...
It'll be interesting to see how that works.
And then another thing is, don't forget...
But a lot of teams are going to get bankrupted in the process. Like
this, but
that's
something
sad,
else.
bro.
Oh yeah,
it's like, well, I hate that. It's like,
then,
sucks for you.
But then,
imagine.
But then how is... But then, it's going to be interesting because, like you're saying, a lot of teams are going to go bankrupt. Are they going to save them or not? Is it going to be a kind of thing of come and join us, we'll give you an amount?
You seem like...
Is the whole ploy of this to... Basically, bro, I think... don't forget, Perez...
These aren't good Samaritans, bro.
No, but the thing is, they're not good Samaritans.
That's what I mean.
But you know what it is about them? Is that they're petty. They've always had beef with UEFA.
You messing them. So you need to tell me that because of pettiness, they're gonna save teams.
They're going to start their own league.
They're like, you're dead, but I want you in it, just so that the Premier League can't have you.
Bingo.
Wow.
Because you know how much Paris has had beef with UEFA. Yeah. Man City have had beef with financial fair play. They hate it.
Yeah.
PSG is the same.
With it still. Yeah.
PSG is the same with financial fair play. They all got away. But do you know why PSG haven't come into it? So
I know. Yeah.
Broadcasting, because PSG's
the owner owns beIN Sport, bro. Yeah. He owns beIN Sport.
So therefore, because of that, he can't leave just yet.
Yeah, because he got exclusive rights for the Champions League and that. Like, he paid millions, bro. So he's not gonna leave. He's not gonna leave. Whereas with Bayern and that, like, because the way that German model works, and this is what football is about. Like, they have their fans have the majority shares.
Yep. I agree with that.
I'm saying, like, and that's what football was, bro. Man United didn't have any debts until the Glazers came, fam. That's mad.
I understand that.
That's like, I can't, like, you're right. What you said, it's the owners. It's like no one trusts them because they don't deserve to be trusted.
Yeah, it's the owners that does. But then the thing is this beef that they've had with UEFA and the governing bodies? Is it the reason that you know sometimes you're just looking at each other and like, have they just had that little look at themselves and thought, we don't need you, you need us?
No, they have. Yeah.
And then it's literally like either you fall to our demands or we'll just go and do our own thing. Yeah,
basically. And basically UEFA think they're bluffing, and it's peak because, you know, like FIFA are saying that any team or any player playing in the European Super League club won't be able to play in like international tournament, World Cup, European Champions. So that's nuts, bro.
But then that's what I mean, isn't like the Premier League and the European Cup and FIFA have got involved in something that's actually only combating the Champions League. It's a midweek game. It's not a weekend game. They never said they're taking over the Premier League. The aim is for these players and these teams to
but the
remain
thing
in
is, you
their
can't
leagues.
like the whole. It's a weird one because
It's the Champions League.
The
It's just
Premier League
yeah.
said that you can't join another league. Like I think most leagues say that.
Yeah.
If you're in that league, you can't join another league. And the Champions League is not a league. Like it's a knockout.
Yeah.
So like the fact that these are joining a league, it's illegal, and they know that.
The way that the European Super League, the new structure, the structure of it is the same as the new Champions League. It's the same structure.
If it was
it's
that,
a similar
then,
structure. Sorry.
If it was that, then it would make more sense. But like, and do you know what? Yeah, UEFA. Like I saw that the way that they were proposing like the next format thing, it was basically gonna allow like a leniency for like bigger clubs anyway.
Yeah.
So it was gonna have like some sort of package where like big historical clubs wouldn't get into the Europa League. Like they would somehow stay into the Champions League or so. So it's they're dodgy as well, man.
See, there'll be 5 teams to qualify annually based on achievements in the prior season.
Yeah, they mentioned that, but it's all wishy-washy, man. Like these lot don't even speak. Like,
exactly. That's the biggest thing about this. Is it so wishy-washy?
Yeah, but
I think, like you said, they've announced the date of which they were meant to find out about the Champions League.
Yeah.
This is just beef.
I think yeah, it's definitely
war.
But exactly, yeah, it's petty. Like,
It's petty.
Petty is
It's
the key word,
petty.
man. But do you know what? Like they I don't even like. Generally, when you don't know something, like there's fear. It breeds fear, right?
Yeah.
And they, Man United,
Yeah.
they're the only team that didn't put on Twitter that they've joined the Super League because they knew the backlash that they'll get from the fans. They didn't want no smoke, bro.
But it's because they know nobody likes the Glazers. United fans don't like the
Yeah,
Glazers.
but it just the announcement as well. Like it's you
Yeah.
can't just be like, okay, this is what we're doing now in the midst of a pandemic, in the midst of like people losing their jobs and all of that stuff. Like
so there you go.
all of these sorts
It's
of
2
things, bro.
groups of 10 playing home and away fixtures. Top 3 teams qualify to a group. Then we have the quarterfinals, semi-finals, and the final. So it's a group competition. Just 10 groups.
Wait, it's 2 teams of 10, and then like how,
2 groups of 10.
yeah.
The top 3 qualify. Then it goes quarterfinals, semi-finals, finals. Sorry.
It's like a playoff thing, yeah.
Yeah.
But then it's the same teams all the time.
Yeah.
So
No,
what?
same teams for the first season. Then a new 5 teams. Then
Nah, it's
so
the same
the
teams.
only
so
annoying
it's the
thing is
same
that
teams,
is,
innit?
is this split. The 15 founding clubs
Yeah,
are going to be
forever.
the same forever, and that's what's jarring. This is what they need to work on. Is that whether you're
But they won't work on it. These are
and-
key things they
and
won't
exactly.
work on. Like,
but who are the 15 founding clubs? 6 of them are from the Premier League.
yeah,
These
like,
other 9.
No,
Barcelona,
but
Madrid,
it's-
Atletico,
yeah,
Juve.
then AC Milan, Inter, and then
AC Milan,
it was
Inter.
supposed to be PSG, Bayern, and Dortmund, but
yeah.
they're not doing it. So they'll find new ones, and it definitely like I actually be there like
But
over
then-
Tottenham.
It's true.
But it's an interesting one because you know, like within Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg, they wanted to do their own league as well. So and most of the teams, I think the leagues, in fact, voted for it. So it's called Benelux. So it's Belgium, Netherlands, Luxembourg. So you know how like they don't have much funding,
Yeah.
and their teams, other than Ajax and like Anderlecht maybe and PSV, like they're not that big either. So they're doing something to help themselves like get bigger and whatnot. So this is kind of equivalent, but it's just
then
on a different scale.
Imagine
innit?
we were talking about the 5 teams that are going to qualify based upon their performances, right? Those 5 teams, let's just take it: Leicester, West Ham, Everton, for the Premier League. Okay, because you can't make all 5 teams from one league. So let's say Leicester, Valencia, Inter, Genoa, and maybe let's say West Ham. Those 5 teams have good seasons. They get promoted to the Super League that season. Just like that, 350 mil for those clubs.
Inter in it already. But yeah.
That's a big chunk of money for those kind of teams to be able to have to now be able to go and support and build better facilities to be able to. And if this European Super League is saying things like you have to put money into your women's league, bam, that's more money into their women's teams. That's better players for those clubs as well. That improves the competition throughout because there's more money being pumped into football. It's not being pumped into the because that's the thing is another
You
question.
think it's a misconception then?
Yeah, I think another question that I actually have is this 350 million. Is it going to Arsenal or is it going to Kroenke? That's the question that I have. Is it going to United or is it going to the Glazers? Because then if you're saying it's going
That is
to
a good
United,
question still.
I think that's a good thing. If it's going to the football clubs, that's a good thing. I don't, like I said to you, I don't understand why the Premier League is not involved, because the Premier League is now saying, oh, we can't join this because of L9. But people aren't getting banned for racism. I'm sure you have a rule book about racism in your thing, but we're clearly not following it.
No,
so
it's
why
true.
now are we being strict with the rules?
It's true.
So therefore, if we're talking about it, they're not.
It's because of money. We know that it's because of money. Like
the only reason why it's because of money is because they know that if there's no longer a Champions League, how are they getting their funding?
Yeah.
They've probably got image rights of UEFA and the Champions League. They've got probably deals in the background that they've got with the Champions League.
Yeah, 100%.
That all of a sudden get cut if these teams stop playing in the Champions League. Because this
They
is
work
just
in
beef
tandem.
on the Champions League. This is literally it. This is just beef on the Champions League. And everybody else has kind of jumped in and said, we're back in the Champions League. But it's like, but then it's like these guys as well are not backing down. These 15 founding members are not backing down. They're just saying, do you know what, if you want to do that to us, do it. But then the thing is, when it comes back to UEFA, it's kind of like, oh, I don't really want to do it because I can't lose you.
Yeah. The thing is, like, we're only talking about it from just the top. Like,
yes.
That's my thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a ardent football fan. Like, I love football from the ground up.
From the ground up, yeah.
Like, the fact that South Ballers could... The key thing you said, son, about, like, West Ham being able to make... Like, what's kind of been spread by the media is that it's exclusive, and it is exclusive, but with those added teams that, you know, if you do well in your league, then you can get into it. It takes away from the fact that it's completely exclusive. So, you know what we were saying about Jamie Vardy playing non-league football and then winning a Premier League. That's that dream. You know, Marcus Rashford being at United since he was like 5 years old and playing for the first team, over 100 appearances. That's a dream. Like, they kind of made it seem like that sort of thing can't happen again, because we don't know how other teams other than those 15 are going to get in. So as soon as practicable, after the start of the men's competition occurs, when the women's league will be launched. Yeah, no, okay, women's league, but it's more, how do other teams get to that level? Yeah, that's it. But if you're saying that if they're saying like there is a
5 extra teams, depending on the performances.
Yeah, but and that's so vague as well. Like, what does that mean?
But then I think there's so many, that's what I'm saying, is that everything is so vague. I can't actually give you. There's no definitive answers yet.
Because the only thing we do know is the fact that like 15 can't get relegated. Yeah. So I'm not a fan of that.
And I'm not a fan of that either. I think the 15. I genuinely think every single season, if we're gonna do a Super League like this, every season, you can be the founding members. You can always be known. Your name can be on the cup from the beginning.
Yeah.
But you should be able to get knocked out, and you should be able to come back in.
Yeah, exactly.
You should be able to come out.
I despise that. Like, I despise that. And so, you know, if we just break it all off, like, in terms of what we know that there's some teams that won't ever be able to get relegated. It's a misconception that no teams will get promoted, but some teams ever get relegated. Nah, man. Nah, that's dead. Like, because like, I've always been open to the idea of there being a league where it's like European heavyweights kind of thing, right? Just so long as it's not in the way, because you know what people do in like summer, like in international friendlies, like what was it called, the international cups or whatever, Champions Cup, like that sort of thing, but then slightly more competitive,
which is this could
but in this, I don't know, we don't know the schedule, we don't know like how many times in the year we don't know, but because we don't know, and what we've got has been all right,
it's the media, it
just doesn't feel like
information. Sky Sports, the thing I said about Sky Sports today, you can't come
that
on
was ridiculous,
here and
man.
be saying...
I can't believe the comments believed it. So, I don't remember. Do you remember?
They said that the main goal of this is for financial and something else. Yeah. And
we don't care about the fans.
And well,
but the way he said it, he was reading it from a paper and he was looking at another like broadcast. He was like, so they were saying like they don't care about the fans, and then is that, and then they don't care if players can't go to the World Cup as well, and it was so sinister. He was, and it kind of zoomed in a little bit, and it was I was like, Sky, is this a joke thing, bro? This Sky Sports, this is not Sky Atlantic, bro. This ain't no drama.
It's so false because it's just so they're just people are thinking that Sky Sports cares about the fans.
Yeah.
Sky Sports does not care about. Sky Sports only cares about the fans
Bro,
that are at
Sky
home
Sports is Rupert
watching
Murdoch.
TV.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They only care about the fans that sit at home and watch
Yeah.
TV, because if we all start going to games,
Yeah.
there's no Sky Sports.
But that's the thing. It's a weird one because I guess a lot of people would want to be like, yeah, they can't insult our intelligence. Like, we know that well, not everyone, but we know that their intention isn't for us really.
Yeah.
Like, they just want the money, right? But it's just a question of whether the facts that or the statements they put out are lies, whether it's just false. Do you know what I mean? Like, you might know someone's intentions, but that doesn't mean the message is wrong. Like, don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think the biggest thing about the whole thing, this situation, is there's not enough information. The fact that I can comment underneath and say, why is everybody outraged, and nobody can answer me why they're outraged. In fact, if you're watching this, in the comments, explain why you are outraged. If you're saying that's outraged, explain why you're outraged, because not in a bad way, but I want to understand. I personally want to understand more why people are so against it. When I'm seeing things from, like Zim is saying, from a very good perspective, that there's a chance for a lot more clubs to be funded properly, where money isn't just going to 3 billion just going into UEFA and only 110 for the Champions League winner, and then less for the Europa League winner.
I just don't think, even this though, I don't think it's sustainable. I just think like the big clubs ran towards it because they're in so much debt.
Yeah.
Like, they were like, oh my gosh, this is a lifesaver.
But
let's run for it.
The shares have gone up.
Yeah, but that's all temporary. Stock market is like up and down. So right now, they'll be good for the next few years or whatever. But you don't know. Like, they don't know how to run these clubs.
It's true.
Like, Man United were not in any debt until the Glazers. So you think now that they got a little booster, that in 10 years time it will be fine. Bro, it could be the same thing.
When I look at the teams that are in it, I cannot lie to you, and I'm gonna be dead honest with you. Arsenal, AC Milan, and Tottenham should not be there.
I don't know. AC Milan should be there. AC Milan definitely should be there. The only ones that I'll say for sure is Tottenham and Arsenal. Yeah.
But AC Milan shouldn't be there.
What do you mean, fam?
Okay, AC Milan should be there.
Why would AC Milan not be there, bro? They're like, for instance, Aston Villa deserve to be in it more than Tottenham. Aston Villa deserve to be in it more than. But okay, Tottenham might say, okay, Nottingham Forest aren't even in the Premier League. Like, Aston Villa in the Premier League now. Do you know what I'm saying? They got a big stadium.
To be fair, this situation is just financial. These are the biggest clubs
right now. But imagine, like, it's because obviously, and that's another thing. When money came into football, like a lot, like let's say, okay, post Premier League, there was obviously rich owners and stuff. So not even just the Man Cities and the Chelseas. There's a lot of other owners that aren't just mad famous, right? And obviously ones that have benefited off of consistently getting top four, like Tottenham. Like, Tottenham have always been in the Premier League, to be fair, but like they didn't have like some mad rich owner come. It's just they've been successful relatively, like no trophies, but you know what I mean. So they've been able to get like a lot of money, new stadiums, all of that sort of thing, where their facilities look state of the art. Do you know what I mean? So that's why they're invited to these sorts of things. But in terms of like clout and history or like even success, nah, man. And Man City haven't even won a Champions League. They haven't won anything.
History, Arsenal deserve to be there.
Yeah, but you ain't won a European champion. This is supposed to be Europe. Britain ain't even in Europe. What is this, bro? What is this, fam? What is this, fam? Why are we there, bro? It's all those years trying to get out of Britain, like Brexit.
Let's say Brexit.
Of Europe, fam. And now you're trying to crawl your way back in.
Yeah,
what the flip? And they have the most teams.
Yeah.
They have 6.
Yeah, it's true.
What is going on,
apparently it was Arsenal, United and Liverpool that started this.
Yeah, because they got American owners. That's, bro, like, people know how I feel, you know, when it comes to
I'm the same.
Americans, you know what I'm saying? I got a lot for my cousins, but like,
I have a love for the American people.
Yeah, the people.
Not the rich ones. Not the super rich. The super rich.
Some of them are ignorant as well. But that's the thing. Like, when it comes to football, I just like it. Like, not American, basically.
The only thing that will make, like I've said in this podcast, I'm not completely against this yet. It hasn't happened to me. I'm not outraged at the moment. What would tip me one way in the side of I'm up for it is if they announce people like Arsene Wenger is going to be heading it. People
but he's been against it though.
Do you know what? One thing I've learned watching this whole Super League thing.
People change their mind.
This stuff is powerful.
But at that stage though, because like they're not new. Like, as in they're not like young.
They're not young, but then, for example, take on
Because isn't legacy more important at that age?
Yeah, take on managers like Arsene Wenger. Even. Let's just take him and how much he's been trying to get the VAR rule changed, and every single time they're always saying, "No, that doesn't make sense. No, that doesn't make sense. No, that doesn't make sense."
So
and then the Super League comes and says, "Okay, cool. Do you know what? We'll pay you a big bank, and you can also decide what happens with VAR. You have control. You can now allow football to play the way that you want it to."
This is a good point, man. This is what
the pundits as well. It's like
you thinking. You
guys, you're the pundits. Okay, Rio, you don't have to worry about saying these things. Do you know what? Let's deal with racism properly. If these men are smart, they actually could really.
It's potentially completely. Yeah, that's the thing. You could see that. Yeah, that's the thing because UEFA has been an old boys club. A lot of people are talking about this ESL being a boys club and that, which it kind of is. But like UEFA have been that, so it's like no one's kind of let in to change things that are going on.
The UEFA, FIFA, and the Premier League are run by people that do not play football.
Yeah, exactly. I like the idea of something new, right?
Yeah.
It's just I just don't like. So you know what you were in the comments about like why are people so outraged and no one can answer. Like I think one of it is the elitism. That's just a key one. Yeah. The worry of the football pyramid, the structure that has built this beautiful game. Over 150 years.
Yeah.
There's concern in that, like at all levels.
Yeah.
And just the lack of trust for the ownership, bro.
Yeah.
Like so yeah, those are the reasons.
I'd say for me, elitism. I agree with that. The people that are running this are not the people that I would say I trust in the slightest way. And then second of all, I would say it's the football pyramid. Those two things for me are what matter the most. It's football, especially English football, Brazilian football even. Like we're talking about people like Gabriel Jesus painting the streets in Brazil.
Coming
to
over.
Then now be playing for Brazil one World Cup he's playing in the streets in Brazil painting pictures of Neymar. The next World Cup he's playing alongside Neymar. That's football. That's what it's about. It's about the players, it's about the fans. Like it's about fulfilling your dreams. Even as a fan, like it's just being able to go see your team, play these games and surprise people. Like I also understand it because even Bielsa came up with it and saying that the one thing about football is that the lowest team can beat the biggest teams. Football, that's what it's about. What these men are going to mess up on is by closing this off. Obviously, they're saying 5 teams are going to come up, but they need to open it up even bigger than this. They need to let it literally just be a competition.
And would it be like a ESL 1, ESL 2? Like that's the thing. You just don't know. But
we don't know
the way that it's been briefed and just that.
But then we're only at the beginning. That's the issue. Is we're only at the start.
Like I get the fact that you might want to hear it out.
Yeah.
But these don't speak, and they're not helping themselves. And
they're not helping themselves.
And I'm not trying. You know, the thing is, they don't have anyone on their side either, and that's their fault. Like if it was someone like Rio with this idea or something like that, then it's the people behind it, bro.
Yeah.
Like
it really is.
And
it really is.
And that's their fault. Like so, people should be outraged.
It really is the people.
People should be outraged.
And that is the biggest issue. Is the people behind it are not the people that we trust the most. They're people that do not understand football, that are in this for the financial gain.
So what I take from this is that you're not necessarily for this Super League. You're for the idea of a new league that's independent of the bodies that we have right now.
Yeah,
but not necessarily this specific. It's just the fact that this is the only alternative that we have.
It's these teams that are starting this have the financial ability to actually start it. They have the capability. This is the biggest fan bases. You take all these fans and you compare it to the rest of football in general.
It probably equates to the rest of football, you know.
Just these teams alone. Just these teams alone. They're massive.
Celtic and Rangers got a lot of fans.
Celtic and Rangers do have a lot of fans. But then will they be the other teams to finish it off? Because we still only have 12.
Actually, no, that was wrong now. I was gonna say that's basically like it equals the rest of football, but nah, it's still a couple.
There's still a couple more, but it's not massive. It probably is massive.
Like,
you know
what
I mean?
Let's say
in Europe. It's a majority of fans, And then it's like, what the
Benfica, Porto,
It's what does like what is the potential for this is endless.
For a different league, but not for me not this, but for you.
No, it's not this. It's not these owners. That's what people are forgetting. It's the owners. People.
Yeah, but they started it. That's the point. They started it. You can't ignore that.
Football fans have problems with the owners. footballing, Sky Sports, BT, all these people
Yeah.
have a problem with
Money.
the idea. It's the financial aspects. They're not.
Oh, yeah,
worried,
yeah, yeah,
they're
yeah.
not worried about the fans.
Yeah.
The football fans are just worried about football for themselves because that's what fans are about. We're here for the football. The players, I think, are worried about the fans. Those two are the two most important factors in this whole thing: is the players and the fans. Even things like the Sky Sports thing that we were talking about earlier, they were talking about how the owners are saying they don't mind their players playing less football. I don't mind Arsenal playing less football, less injuries. I don't need you playing 17 games in a week.
We don't. Yeah. No, that's true. But I don't want to remove the Premier League though. Do you know?
I wouldn't want to remove the Premier League, but
I wouldn't mind like the League Cup or
yeah,
something.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because then as well, if we remove if these teams drop out of the League Cup, that opens it up for the other teams to win it. It shouldn't always just be, oh yeah, because you beat Arsenal, you beat Chelsea, that you've done something amazing. If Scunthorpe United come and beat Leicester, that's a big deal still. People, I feel like everyone's just looking at the fact that if Arsenal are out of it, and Scunthorpe would never get to beat Arsenal. That doesn't matter. I understand it, but it doesn't really matter. They'll meet in the FA Cup.
Does it really matter?
Does it really matter?
Oh man.
And then even so, the Sky Sports one, I'm remembering it now. When they said something about, oh yeah, they're planning to play the weakened teams during the Premier League games. That happens now with the Champions League.
Oh, is that what you said?
Yeah.
But that's not wild though. Like, if you got a big squad, then your weakened team is like Man City's
weakened team is still strong. He was like, they're planning to play their weakened teams in the Premier League.
No, but it's
I'm just like, that's the Champions League. That happens now.
No, sorry. It's so accurate what he just did. Bruv, guys, go to Sky. I don't even want to plug them, but on Sky Sports, yeah, the clip of the dude that was spewing this stuff, and people in the comments were believing it. I was just like, this is acting, bro.
Yeah,
what that facial expression you did, was
ridiculous.
Accurate.
It's the Champions League. It's what they're
playing their weakened teams.
Everything that these people are talking about that they're afraid of is happening. It's football right now. Like, there's nothing new to anything that they're saying.
Yeah,
if Liverpool,
elitism still happens.
If Liverpool are facing Real Madrid in the Champions League, believe me, on Saturday you're not seeing the strongest Liverpool team.
Yeah.
Especially if it's against what? Let's pick a
But then it's dead though. Like, imagine like if sorry, you said Champions League, not Super League.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking like, what's the point in going to a Super League and you're not playing your best? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. What's the point of going to Super League? You have to play your best team. But then the thing is the players are so adapt to playing weekends and midweek. You're gonna see the same thing that you see now.
Yeah.
We're gonna lose them in the only reason we're gonna lose them in the Premier League is because the Premier League are refusing to allow it.
Yeah.
Not because these clubs want out of the Premier League, but it's the Premier League refusing. The Glazers and United have dropped their ECA badges. That's to do with UEFA and the Champions League. Nothing to do with the Premier League.
Yeah.
They haven't taken themselves out of the Premier League.
Yeah.
It's the Premier League that's refusing.
So like, if obviously these lot are gonna be out of the Premier League and that, so
Potentially.
yeah. So if they were staying in the Premier League, but they don't want to be in Europe, the Champions League, they want to be in the Super League, like, then like it wouldn't be a top four at that point, wouldn't it? It would be because like they're permanently in that Super League, so it'll be like the other 20. It'll be the other 20 clubs, and then or the other 19 clubs, and then
maybe one or two from each league.
But it might go back to it being one team, the champion of that league, goes into the Champions League, or maybe it'll be top four other than
the six.
It's all confusing, man.
Yeah, exactly.
It's confusing. We won't get to the bottom of it now. Like much more needs to come out.
A lot more.
Yeah, like it's right now it's poker, and they're just seeing how much they can gain from
it. I think I do believe that like you're saying is if there's a lot of like what do you call it? It's poker.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like
tit for tat. They're just trying to get one over.
Because for all you know, all this outrage come Friday, UEFA and all these teams have sorted it out, and now these teams are now getting a bigger paycheck. It's all about money. This is a lot to do with money. It's a lot to do with pettiness. It's just the fact of, I can imagine Real Madrid saying, for winning the Champions League, I think we deserve a little bit more than 110 after you're getting 3 billion. Can we at least make it 200 million, 300 million? And everyone said, nah, no chance. And obviously, again, we're talking about the corruption in UEFA. What the hell is happening there? Like, it's just so mad. And all this, and like I say, the biggest point for me was just the fact that everybody was outraged. Premier League was releasing statements. But when it comes to racism, absolutely nothing.
Well, you hear boom. You actually hear boom. It's crazy.
The fact that Serie A, this one bugs me so much, is when Valencia played and they told Valencia, you go back on that pitch and play or you get fined.
Yeah, that was crazy.
If that's how we treat racism, but this is how we
Where
treat...
was that again? Was that in La Liga or
La Liga.
UEFA? Oh, okay.
La Liga. If that's how we're treating racism, but yet we're busy condemning a whole idea of another league, you just showed me where your mouth is. You really just showed me what you really care about.
They genuinely don't care.
They genuinely don't care about racism. All these banners and these pamphlets that they put out are just there for show, just to make you look like okay.
Because I was like, like ones that kick it out and stuff like that. Like, there's not much that they can actually do.
No.
Like, they can actually just raise awareness, but like UEFA, the ones who actually have to make the decisions on bans and fines and stuff like that.
Tottenham.
I thought
Chelsea,
so. There's a 10-game limit,
Chelsea,
on how much you can ban a player.
There's a 10-game limit.
Yeah. Why? Why is there a limit on racism? Like, if you're found guilty, why is there a limit?
Chelsea, Man City, and who else is the other team that's in it?
What? Champions League?
Yeah. Chelsea.
It's just those two. The Liverpool were in it, but no.
Yeah. So Chelsea and Man City could be banned from the Champions League as of Friday.
No, every team apart from PSG.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Real Madrid could be banned. Yeah. It's not just an English thing, bro.
You're right. Yeah. So Real Madrid, all three of these teams could be banned by Friday.
So imagine PSG winning like by default.
That doesn't even count as the Champions League. They're not allowed to claim that one.
That's mad. That is mad. PSG, after all that time,
imagine in 2 years' time, they're just out.
How you celebrate that?
Straight into the Euro.
That's bad.
But yeah, after you're telling me it's taken these guys not even a week to be able to ban these clubs and talk about bans, but yet when it comes to racism, we have to go through an investigation for somebody to only get a 10-game ban.
Yeah.
If you're playing Champions League in your league in a week, that's only a 5-week ban. That's a holiday.
Yeah.
Then you're back out on the pitch for racism, but yet they're willing to literally kick teams out.
It's mad. Like, and people have missed. I don't know. Like, they haven't failed drug tests, but they've missed it or whatever. Yeah. Been out for a whole season. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's so much
corruption.
It's just not. It's not organized well, innit? Like they haven't got their priorities straight.
No.
They haven't got like the right leadership and whatnot. So it's all a bit of a mess. And it's a bit of faff.
And for me, when we're talking about that,
yeah,
that's when I'm just like, do you know what? If it means that ban UEFA,
yeah, cool. I don't mind the ban UEFA. It's just I don't know that this is a solution. That's my thing, but. Yeah. We'll see.
We have to see.
That's the only thing we can do right now, man. Yeah. But it's been good getting your perspective on it.
And let us know what you think, though.
Yeah, let us know.
What do you think of me and Zim's opinions on this?
Yeah.
Is anybody else for the European Super League? I mean, I'm seeing a lot. I can't lie to you. Arsenal fans, quit it. Stop it.
No wait. Do you know what's bad?
A lot of Arsenal fans are for this.
They're so funny. No, a lot of Arsenal fans are against it, but they're against it because it allows them to stop supporting their club. This is the only reason that they can legitimately be like, yeah, nah, I'm not an Arsenal fan no more. Like, they've been wanting to do it for years, fam. They ain't won nothing. So they're like, now, it's like, oh, no, this is the reason why. Like, it's not because we're not doing well, man. It's just because, like, I don't believe in
I've seen so many Arsenal players just say, oh, I don't mind this, you know. Back in the big leagues. If you can't beat them, pay them.
Nah, getting peppered by Bayern like every single.
Hey, we're in the biggest league in the world. Don't care.
And you just can't get out. That's like getting stuck in a bad dream, fam.
Honestly, imagine getting slapped every year and there's no way out.
No, that's mad. You know those movies where you wake up at the same scene?
Is when we came out of the Champions League, I was like, that's going to be good for us. A break away from the Champions League.
Yeah.
Some time away. Let's just have some Europa League.
Yeah.
And, just take it from there. With this one, we're just getting slapped. And I know we're going to get slapped again next season.
Peppered.
Just
like
waiting.
steak. It's
peppered.
mad, man. Nah, yeah,
hot.
waking up in the same scene in a dream every day, and you know what's gonna happen, but you can't stop it.
And the cup looks ugly though.
The dreams on.
The European Super League Cup is ugly.
It's
Man,
really? Where'd you see it?
they
Are you
need
sure
to
it's
do
probably fake, fam.
They need to do
You know,
some
it's
work.
fake news.
The JP Morgan Cup, as people have been calling it.
Legit, dude, and that's another. It's the Americans getting involved in it. Like they don't know the culture, so them trying to impose, like, on it. I don't like.
It is. I think it's. Oh no.
I don't think it's real.
Oh man, maybe it wasn't.
But if it is, then we'll magically make it a pic. Can we do that? Can the producer do?
Producer.
Dana, Sani.
This is the cup.
Where's my?
It's right there. We'll see if it works.
Have to hold it.
Honestly, but yeah.
Yeah, man. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys.
Love.
We'll be back for another episode of Away Games.
What we do here is go back, 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 back.